LEGO often releases Star Wars sets no one cares for. These sets confuse a lot of people and make others angry since they take up slots more wanted sets could have gotten. Recent sets that fall into this category are the Justifier or the Resistance ITS transport. They aren't bad, but if you asked any LEGO fan, I hardly imagine they'd be in their top 50 most wanted set list. The king of this list and one of my most wanted sets released back in 2011, the Bounty Hunter Assault Gunship. 2011 in general was one of the weirdest years for LEGO Star Wars. Some of the most iconic Star Wars sets were released that year: the UCS Super Stealth Destroyer, Anakin and Sebulba's Pod Racer, and what many consider to be the best Millennium Falcon. On the other hand, the Clone Wars brought us some real oddball sets like the Imperial V-Wing Starfighter, Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter, or the Bounty Hunter Assault Gunship. Being based off a few scenes in the 17th episode of the Clone Wars Season 2, it would be an extreme overstatement to say that this was a much desired set. At a retail price of $50, it wasn't too expensive, but considering that the build wasn't the greatest, LEGO knew they had to add another reason for fans to buy the set. The solution they came up with: an incredibly inaccurate figure selection. This set comes with Sugi, Embo, Orosing, and an assassin droid. Bounty Hunters, the episode the set was based off, did feature 2 bounty hunters, just not all of these. Sugi and Embo celebrated their debut in this episode, so their inclusion here is more than justified, but neither Orosing nor a nondescript assassin droid were featured. Do I mind the inaccurate figure selection? No, I think getting a Saripaz minifigure would have been nice, but I'd choose Orosing over him any day of the week. The assassin droid is a bit useless here, but I understand that they didn't want to come up with a new mold to represent either of the other 2 bounty hunters. Sugi, Embo, and Orosing look great though. To this day, this is still the only minifigure of Orosing we've ever gotten, which also reflects in her aftermarket price. She's also got a really cool exclusive hairpiece. Embo comes with his iconic head and some shoulder pads to match his broader appearance in the Clone Wars. His price is skyrocketed as well. Sugi is the only one slacking here though, featuring no lag printing and only printed horns. Should they release another version of this figure at some point, they'd have to use the Darth Maul horn piece. Now that I told you all about the figures though, it's time we talk about the build: Sugi's SS-54 Light Freighter. I have to say I absolutely love these goofy looking oddball sets, so for me getting this set wasn't just about the figures, I also really like the build. It is admittedly a bit smaller than I expected, but it still looks great. Its unique shape really differentiates it from most starships we see in Star Wars, and the different functions LEGO included here make up for the smaller frame. The most unique play feature the set has is its switch from landing to flying position. Most ships just have some landing gear, but this one turns its engine downwards. The Mandalorian Starfighter does pretty much the same thing, but on that one you must do it by hand. Here you have a dedicated mechanism. You just pull the very back of the ship and the engines move. This has to be done since otherwise the whole ship will just fall backwards. The cockpit, which also serves as the main body of the build, is probably still the most elaborate thing about the set, even outdoing the back. First of all, you can fold up the ceiling, revealing space for a minifig. You've got a good amount of space, especially since there's only a seat for a single pilot. In the ceiling itself there's a small weapons rack. I wish they'd still include these extra weapons in sets, but these days we're lucky when we even get enough to equip just the minifigures. And the sides of the cockpit can also be opened, giving us better access to the pilot seats, as well as revealing some space below the cockpit. I have no idea what the space is for. The set is called the Gunship, but there's no way these other 3 figures fit in there, and there's also no cargo that you could store in that area. But because we did need one more flap to complete the quartet, there's also one on the underside of the cockpit, which gives you another look in the area below it. So, is this set any good, especially since there isn't a single person on God's green earth that asked for this? It is. Sure, it lacks in some places, but nothing major. The figure selection is only 50% accurate, but still great, and overall, this is just a really fun set. I love these oddball sets, and this one tops that category. So yeah, go buy it.